Hello, bonjour. I get Matthew with you here today. Oh my gosh, we're going to talk about such a lovely, lovely subject. Let me just bring my text here so I don't forget anything. Love resides in all of us. It's there just waiting to come out and flourish. So I'm a living cuisine chef and known as Raw Food or Living Food. And I'll be 19 years in the fall of eating this way. Besides getting rid of arthritis, excess weight, eye floaters, rosacea, and various health issues for my children and my then husband, a deeper love and appreciation for myself. Beside all the wealth beside all the wealth of health I have accumulated along the way, a deep connection was created with my heart and my soul, a deep connection and appreciation for myself. And that's what we are going to talk about today. So it also is for you, it's for every one of us. I'll talk about, first of all, to be your best friend. Let me tell you a story about that one. So be my best friend at first was something that they came up with, like at a young age, to console myself. Some of you might have listened to previous episode of or here on my social media that I was adopted at 6 days old. That was March 1958. That I came home in tears one day and asked my mother, "Why are they calling me bastard?" And my mother lovingly explained that she came to the orphanage to adopt a little girl, and she chose me among many other babies. She chose me and she brought me home. And my grandfather said, "Laurette, she's not a baby, she's a doll. She's beautiful." She told me that story numerous times. Silly us, we sometimes, or most of the time, focus on the negative and forget the positive. And so that story kind of got to the side, the wayside, and then, listening to all the kids around. The situation at school wasn't quite, like a positive story. I was cross-eyed, I wore glasses, not hip in those days, overweight. And when puberty hit, combined with my diet choices at the time, but let me tell you, they were not the greatest. I was eating those, like you have at school, those vending machine and those cream puff pastry with jam in it. Whew. So my face turned into a pizza face. I was called many unkind and hurtful names. Summer 1970, in my child's mind, I decided to fix my eye, lose the excess weight, and clear my skin. And of course, I didn't share that with anyone at school because they would have said, "Oh, here she goes again. She's so crazy. She's this, she's that. She's ugly anyway, blah, 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 blah," and all that stuff, right? I mean, children say what they hear, basically. So that is also something I was very careful with my children when I brought them up, to use kind words about people. It's like, well, they would say, "Well, that one is overweight," and I would say, "Well, it's just because that her or his parents don't know yet, and they just bring home things that are not maybe as healthy, and a child is a child. A child will do what the parents do. So if the parents eat more, the child will eat more. And what happens is that child gets to school and is being teased because that child is overweight." And sometimes it's clothing. I mean, I wasn't brought up with a huge budget of clothing, so my mother did what she could. So my clothes were not the best. Then I learned how to sew. I was able to do beautiful clothes for myself. But yeah, children just, they repeat what they hear. So we have got to be careful when we are around them. Summer 1970, in my child's mind, like I said, I was deciding to fix all that. Sorry, I'm repeating myself here. I'm getting old. I ate fresh vegetables directly from the garden. I was, so grateful to be living with my aunt, my grand uncle, my mother. We were all together in that little house, but we had so much. We had love, for sure. And we had a beautiful garden. My uncle was brilliant at gardening. So we had a beautiful garden. So what did I do? Is all that summer I ate vegetables, and I ate them raw. I just went in the garden, took a carrot, wiped the dirt off my, my pants, or my uncle taught me to break the leaves and use the leaves to actually clean the carrot and then eat it that way. So I ate fresh food out of the garden, the absolute best. There's nothing like this on earth, of course. And as you know, I mean, when it's freshly picked, the taste is absolutely amazing. So I did that, and I drank water. So I did that all summer. And guess what happened? The excess weight melted away. But not only that, my face totally cleared up. All the pizza paste was totally gone. It totally cleared up. It was just amazing. And that's what it is, all those vegetables and fruits as well, because I had a family. I was brought up on an island, and all my family's uncles and aunts, and many of them at farms that were just like minutes away, walk this way or that way, and I could go just, and pick fresh berries. And actually, I was working also for them during the summer, and they would say, it's because you're efficient at picking berries, because you eat quite a bit, don't you? So I ate berries and fruits and veg all summer, which totally cleared my face. And then again, in my child's mind, I decided I was going to exercise my eye. It's the left eye that I used to be cross-eyed. I would exercise my eye and it would just get fixed. A child is like that, right? Like they imagine something and it becomes so real, like they can see it real. They can totally see it, like in their eyes, mind eyes, they see it. It's up and it's real. So I exercise my eye. And, I look this way, that way, up, down, and around this way and that way. I did that every day, every day. I went to bed doing it. I woke up doing it, do it during the day. I just did it. And I did fix my eye. Well, as you can see, I'm not cross-eyed, right? I do wear glasses now, but I just need the contact lens in the right eye, not the left eye, because the left eye is just, it doesn't see. It see from 5 to 10% on either side, but the center, it doesn't. It's the forceps. Apparently, when I was born, they used a forceps, and that messed up my eye. So, and like I said, of course, I told nobody about this, because that was really far-fetched. It was just like, what on earth is she thinking? And they would have made more fun of me. So that was already enough. I didn't, add on top of things. So now, I fixed my eye. I lost the weight. I cleared my face. So imagine, picture this. Imagine when I came back to school in September, they hardly recognized me. Kids I knew would just walk by me and not even say hi or tease me. that really, like nipped it in the bud. No more teasing. I wasn't teased anymore. Did I radically change my story then? Well, no. I kept my story of being rejected. So, all my teenager years and all that, I spend more times with hanging out with the horses next door, horseback riding, brushing the horses, petting the cows and the pigs, and because they were nice. I mean, they were nice since the beginning of time for me. Animals were nice, not human, right? So yes, I didn't change that story yet. And you probably all heard of neuroplasticity and how we are sponge at that age, like, from born to being about 7, 8, we are a sponge. And we don't have this, let me try to say that word in English, discernment. Yeah. We don't have the discernment to, take some and leave some, not just, say, oh, that's the truth. And we don't have that yet. So the challenge is by then, my neural connection were really holding on that story that was very well established, let me tell you. And but those can be redesigned. You can redesign those neural connections. That's just brilliant. And here's one approach to it. So we're talking about love today, right? So how about, and this is from Louise Hay, you've heard of this. You start loving yourself today. And how you do that? You do that. Every morning you look at yourself in your mirror, right? You go to your washroom, you brush your teeth, you brush your hair, or you clean your face, you apply whatever on your face. So you do that every morning. So you look at the mirror, and at the mirror you say, Agathe, I love you. Agathe, I love you. And you look in your eyes. When you look deep down in your eyes, that's where your soul resides. And you repeat and repeat and repeat. You make it an habit every time you go to the washroom or walk by a mirror. And we do that because when we walk by a mirror, we catch we catch a view of us walking by the mirror. So normally we do that. Just like when we walk on the street and there are those big, windows from stores and whatnot, it reflects us. So we do that. We look also. When you talk to someone, I dislike that so much. When they wear those glasses, those sun glasses that you see yourself in, it's the worst thing ever. So you see yourself. Well, take that opportunity to say, Agathe, I love you. I love you so, so much. You're beautiful. You're amazing. You're outstanding. I love you so, so much. So you do that. And then what happens is that your brain believes what you say. It doesn't make the difference between what you say and what you might say is real. So there you go. That's where you have to be careful. It believes what you say. So you have to have the conviction. And to do that, I mean, myself, the way I found to do that was really when I say I love you, I don't look at my face. I don't look at my lips that are maybe not right, or my nose that isn't right. Like, this part of my nose kind of hang too low. I don't look at that. I look at my eyes, because in our eyes, you'll connect with the soul, with your gorgeous soul. And it's where the beauty resides. So you do that. I mean, it's magical. It's magical. Do this. At first, you might cry and all that. That's okay. Eventually, you won't cry again. Well, you reach a point where, hey, I love myself. So you be your best friend. You would never say to your best friend, you're ugly, blah, 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 blah. You never say that. Why on earth would you say that to yourself then? So be your best friend. Say it every day until you deeply, deeply fall in love and appreciate yourself. Your confidence will grow and grow and grow. And you know what is beautiful about that is envy vanish. Because now you look at someone else, you don't envy that they're, a foot taller than you, they're whatever going on in their face than you. You don't envy that. You acknowledge it. It's beautiful to see beautiful, for sure, but you don't envy it. And that reflects in the rest of your life as well. You don't envy someone that just got a new car, someone that's got a bigger house than you, someone that's got better clothes than you, someone that you don't envy. The envy vanishes. It's like magic. And I'm sure that you have met people in your life that are supposedly, quote unquote, not beautiful by the magazine standard, and yet they are gorgeous. They radiate beauty from inside out, and beauty of mind and soul. So I want to tell you a beautiful story. Oh my gosh, when I was reading it this morning, I had tears. I'll see if I can manage not getting tears on that one. But let me tell you that beautiful story. So just before year 2000, I created 2 events at my children's school. One was in Calgary in 1998, and the other one was in North Vancouver. We moved there in 1999. And each event attracted about 100 plus students. I was pumped. But you know why? I mean, they all came. I'll let you know. Fashion was my first career. So I thought, I'd create a fashion show. Well, isn't this like a magnet? I mean, of course, there were many, many that, wanted to be and took part in it. And girls and boys, they all, there's something about the industry has done that, where you open a magazine and you wish to look like, those models in the magazine. So they all wanted to be part of that. Students were thrilled. They were thrilled. But what they didn't know is my idea that I had in mind was not the usual perception of fashion. I didn't want to have this, I didn't want to teach them that, because that's so detrimental. My goal was to guide students through a process of discovering their own inner beauty. The show was called Full Steam Ahead. I loved it. I mean, I talk about it, I get goosebumps. So clothes were provided by local boutique, hairdresser, makeup artists were part of the experience too. Like they had the whole thing, music, lighting, everything, like just like a fashion show. It was brilliant. We had a runway, I mean, everything. So my intention was to increase the self-esteem in each child. But how to do that? The fashion world could be quite toxic, right? Like as I was saying. So I had to not go the fashion route as the usual we know, so something else. So here I go. 20 some students at a time met me in the gym to learn about modeling. So they thought, hey, that's great, gonna learn, how to show up like those models on the stage. I instructed them to all press their entire body against the gym wall, gym back wall. So I was at the front of the gym, they were at the very back of the gym, they all walked there, and they all stood and felt the wall behind them. I said, feel that wall, stand tall, open your chest, breathe in pride, walk the entire length of the gym floor, keeping that posture. And oh my gosh, again, all the goosebumps, that moment I will never forget. The energy, the confidence, the radiance, the beauty that emanated from all students was off the chart. It was like instant, like they're all being transformed in an instant. So I taught them how to catwalk, how to perform that fancy spin that models do on stage flawlessly, and pause and head held high, and soak in the appreciation from the crowd. They loved it. I exposed the lie about magazine. That was a cool moment too. I mean, so many things. Gosh, I've got to do this again. I got to teach it. They got to do this in school, especially now with what's going on with the social media that is destroying so many. Well, that's not social media. People that are nuts on the social media are doing that to other people that are so unkind and so, oh my gosh, they themselves lack self-esteem. So that's why they destroy other people, right? So I exposed a lie about magazine, how they manipulate photos to transform the model into meeting the made-up fashion industry must be beautiful standard. And we touch photos to show perfect skin, lips, facial features, thin waist, long legs, perfect hair. You know what I'm referring to, right? And the statistics said, I don't know what it is. I looked online to find more statistics, but way back then, 70% of us looking at a fashion magazine, depreciate ourselves by the time we're looking at it cover to cover. And you know what? For many, the front cover is enough to depreciate yourself. You look at this and go, oh, don't look like blah, blah, blah. So I showed them a photo of myself, touch up, that was touched up to camouflage the flaws on my face. And I asked them to come within feet of me and scrutinize my face. And I held the photo next to my face, just like this. So let me see, I'll do it this way. I hope you don't have the glare. Let me just move this beside here. See that I'm doing it right. Yeah, you don't have the glare. That's awesome. So I did that. I held that photo not next to my face. And they came closer and they looked at me and they go, oh, your nose is not the same. Your ears are like pixie ears. Your lips are uneven. You've got a pimple here and you've got wrinkles there. It was brilliant. They really could see. So that was a photo, of course, done at a photo studio. And I fought with the photographer. I said, no, don't make me perfect. That isn't me. But it's useful now. Well, it was useful too for that project. I could use it. And he said, no, you're not gonna like it. I cannot show, the wrinkles and the bubble under your eyes and your ears sticking out. I cannot show that. It has to be perfect. So they made it to look like fashion standard. And that was brilliant that I had that because the children could really see. And that was priceless to see them coming up close to me and observing and saying, oh yeah, you're right. That's not you. That was just brilliant. And like I said, the effect was Next to my face. There you go. Sorry, I'm coming back to my text here. I don't want to forget anything. I worked hard at creating it so I don't forget any detail. I then talk about beauty that comes from inside out. The beauty of our heart, of our love for ourselves and for each other, our kindness and care, our compassion, our appreciation for others. Beauty is from inside out, not on the outside. The effect was priceless. They all noticed, like I said, my uneven lips, my pixie ear, my blemishes on my skin, and bam, breakthrough. It was like, again, instant, just like that walk in the gym, instant. No longer the story that that tall, gorgeous girl has it all. Their attitude shift to, I do too. And yes, lady, not just for that's for the girls, for the boys, same thing. You know, boys are facing the same thing. There is that guy in the class. He's strong. He is this. He is that. He's handsome. He's got it all. I don't. Well, the same happened for boys. Just the very same. They really realized the fact that it was all manipulation, and the beauty resides inside. So each student's modeling on stage, they created wearable art as their main outfit to parade on the stage. They had other outfits from stores and whatnot. Of course, I think they came out 3 or 4 times to model, but they created one outfit that was a wearable art as their main outfit to parade on stage. And it was made with all sorts of recycled material, held together with staples and glue gun and string. It was brilliant because there they discovered their creativity. And of course, parents in the crowd, other students in the crowds. Yay! You know, the cheering went on and on. The whole show was cheers and cheers and cheers. It was just brilliant. So, you know, instead of, yeah, like they walk proudly on stage. So they receive all that love, that pouring love towards them at what they had accomplished and what they were doing. And parents were so grateful and thankful. Parents in Calgary, some here in North Van probably give the same thing, but I just couldn't find it this morning. But I'll show you one. They gave me that amazing book, and then here you go again. I'll just make sure that I'm holding it right. It's a book. There you go. It's called Legends, and it says "Women Who Have Changed the World." They gave me that book. And inside that book, there is a note, so precious, of course I kept that. There is a note that says, Superwoman extraordinaire, you will always remain in the hearts of the students you have touched at Rideau Park School. Your dedication and determination has helped build their self-esteem in each other, in each and every one of them. Thank you. Thank you. I mean, I had accomplished my goal. You see what I suffer as a child. You know, I had all my heart into with those children, you know, contributing my knowledge, my experience, what I've been through, what I lived through, so that they had a different approach to their life, to whatever experience they had. And what there is to remember is that every minute, every second of our lives, choosing love unleashes our power to create, to give, to build a magnificent life for ourselves and for everyone we touch. You were born perfect at the perfect time, in the perfect family, in the perfect environment to learn to grow. You embody love and you are loved. Imagine starting the day with appreciation, looking at yourself in the mirror and saying how much you love yourself. Appreciate yourself. Imagine smiling at everyone you meet, and you'll get a smile back. I mean, some hold on to their black cloud above their head, but really, I mean, I say 99% does. They do. I do that constantly. Imagine radiating confidence. It's in all of us. It starts with loving yourself. Imagine the legacy you're contributing to our children, not only to your very own, but all the children you meet. Fear destroys, love creates, love builds, love contributes. So love yourself. and spread the love around you. Now, let me show you. I'm going to go to my gift that I have for you today. Let me show you that. I will share my screen. There we go. So this is my website. This is what I created. I mean, for me, also the healing this way, like I was saying, created so much abundance in my life. Abundance of health, abundance of joy, and abundance of connection with my heart and my soul and our mother planet, and the respect to each other, and understanding we are one. So when I myself say things that are not so kind to myself, I'm hurting the world, because I then show up in the world as someone who is miserable. And it does. I mean, you're in an environment where people are miserable, you become miserable. You're in an environment where people are joyful and happy, you become happy. You uplift people. So it's a beautiful gift that I received. It's a friend of mine. She gave me a book on raw food, and she told me about raw food. So that's how it started for me. So here you have my story. And then you have, of course, I give courses. I had a cafe for 8 years. I learned tons. And so that's what I do now, is I teach the public instead of teaching my staff. My cafe closed with the pandemic, which is a blessing in itself. I mean, it might look like, oh my gosh, this is terrible. You close your cafe. Well, I'm here now. I wouldn't be. Believe me, when you have a cafe, you have no spare time to do what I do. Here you have in this corner here, you can get my ebook. And it has, all sorts of information about so many things that regard the living food, but also how it contributes to your health and to our planet, for sure. So you can get the free book. You can just click there and get it. And here you see the beautiful, gorgeous food that you'll have access to when you take those courses. Unlike what my people might think, oh, geez, you eat carrots all the time. I don't. Look at this. Look at this gorgeous food, and it's delicious. And everyone that came to my cafe and said, oh, I got, never mind if it's cooked or not cooked, it's so delicious. And the other thing also that people said when they came to my cafe that was awesome, I loved it every single time. And they said, because on our menu, the ingredients for each dishes was mentioned, of course. And then the very first one was love. Always has been loved, will always be loved. Every food we package for to go, we drew a heart, the person name and the heart. So lots of love. So people felt that, of course. We feel, like I said, we feel it, literally feel it. So here are the courses, and then you can buy breakfast only, you can buy the snacks only, you can do the entries only, and the condiment, the desserts only, and you can get everything. So like I said to people, if it's new to you, you're not sure that, can you do this? Start with one, start with your breakfast. Start the day with a breakfast that will really sustain you and nourish you and give you energy. As you can see, I've got some. And that's simply because when you eat this way, your blood cells, your red blood cells, keep the negative charge. And so when they meet each other, they bounce around. That's why I'm bouncy. And when you don't eat food that will create that negative charge, then they clump together. Your red blood cells clump together, and then you become tired, and you don't have energy. And that's what happens. So that's why I'm bouncy. And then here you have a free cake. You can get this one. It's a free cake. And then, and also it gives you an idea of how I teach. So if you're curious to see, well, I don't know, how does she teach? Check this one and you'll find out. You can book a discovery call with me for 30 minutes. I'm also offering, one-on-one coaching, of course. Beautiful here testimonial of my, customers that came to my cafe. My dear friend James, that is also a raw food chef. And then here you can leave me a message. Send me a message, send me your questions. I'd be happy to reply. It might take a little while, but I will. And there's only me and me right now doing all the different aspect of this business. So again, let me stop the sharing here. There we go. Again, remember that you can imagine a life for you that is supporting you. It starts with you. You have the power to love yourself and cultivate that love. Cultivate it every single day. That makes a difference in the world for you and the people around you. So all my love, and we'll see you again next week.